The internet has been completely buzzing with a viral headline claiming that the notorious kingpin Bello Turji has attacked Governor Ahmadu Umaru Fintiri's hometown in Adamawa State, sending villagers running for their lives. While the panic is absolutely real and the situation on the ground is incredibly tense, we need to separate the facts from the viral rumors to understand exactly what is happening in Nigeria right now in early 2026. The truth is that two massive, distinct security situations are unfolding at the exact same time, and social media has merged them into one terrifying but misleading story. Governor Fintiri's hometown in Madagali local government area of Adamawa State has indeed faced brutal and terrifying incidents recently, but the attackers were not led by Bello Turji, who actually operates entirely in the northwest region of the country. Instead, the attacks in Adamawa State were carried out by insurgent groups who have been causing severe unrest in the northeast. Let us dive deep into the actual verified events that forced villagers to flee into the night, starting with the harrowing reality of what recently took place in Adamawa. In late January and continuing into February of 2026, the quiet and peaceful communities of Madagali were heavily shattered by nighttime invasions. Madagali is a beautiful area known for its rich farming land and strong cultural heritage, but it sits close to very difficult mountainous terrains that have historically been used as hideouts by bad actors. Specifically in Kirchinga, a village that holds deep ties to the governor and serves as his hometown, residents were abruptly woken up between the hours of 1 and 2 in the morning by the terrifying sound of heavy gunfire. The insurgents stormed the area under the cover of pure darkness, using the shadows to hide their movements. They had reportedly camped near a local burial ground right behind the Maradi Primary School before launching their sudden assault on the sleeping village. The newly established forest guards, who were brought in by the state to help secure the natural borders and protect the environment, were the very first line of defense. Tragically, two of these incredibly brave operatives, identified by the local community as Injida Maradi and Yuguda Abasariu, lost their lives trying to protect the innocent people, while another guard was taken away to a completely unknown location. Residents made frantic and desperate distress calls to the security forces, but the difficult geographical terrain and the element of total surprise meant that the attackers were able to finish their raid and escape back into the wilderness before a full military response could arrive. This single event sent massive shockwaves through the entire state, but the unrest did not stop there. Just a few days later, another highly coordinated incident occurred in Gari village within the Palam district of Madagali. Armed men, suspected to be part of the same insurgent group from the first attack, targeted the area in the early hours of the morning and successfully abducted 6 family members. They also took away livestock, which is a major source of income for the rural people. This completely disrupted the peace and caused a massive exodus of villagers who packed their bags and fled, fearing for their lives and the safety of their children. The Adamawa State Police Command, communicating through its official spokesperson Suleiman Ngoroji, quickly confirmed the terrible situation to the public. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Dan Kombo Morris, immediately ordered a massive and sustained joint rescue operation. This critical operation brought together the Nigeria Police Force, the brave and dedicated troops of the 144th Battalion of the Nigerian Army, and the Civilian Joint Task Force to track down the attackers, rescue the innocent victims, and secure the volatile borders. Fast forward to late February 2026, and the tension in Adamawa only escalated further, with breaking reports of insurgents temporarily overrunning areas like Sheweri and once again targeting Kirchinga, forcing even more terrified residents to abandon their ancestral homes and seek shelter in safer zones. Now, why did the internet suddenly blame Bello Turji for these specific events in the East? This is exactly where the power of social media and the sheer scale of Nigeria's current security challenges come into play. Bello Turji is arguably one of the most infamous names in the entire country right now, but his illegal operations are strictly concentrated in the northwest, specifically in places like Zamfara and Sokoto states. Turji has been making massive and alarming headlines of his own in 2026, which likely caused the social media algorithms and internet rumor mills to blend his name with the Adamawa attacks just to get more clicks and create viral panic. Recently, Turji has taken his criminal enterprise to a completely new and very dangerous level. He has formed a powerful alliance with another notorious kingpin known as Halilu Sububu. Together, they have been creating a huge army of outlaws to push back against the military forces in Sokoto State. If you are finding this detailed breakdown helpful and want to stay completely updated on the real stories behind the headlines without being misled by fake news, please take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to the channel so we can keep bringing you the verified facts. Your support really helps us cut through the noise and deliver the truthful news that actually matters to everyone. Moving back to the real situation in the northwest, the terrifying alliance between Turji and Sububu has resulted in intense hours-long face-offs with state security personnel in villages like Gidandiko and Dustin Guabro in the Isa local government area. For the very first time, local witnesses have reported seeing these criminal groups deploying heavy and highly advanced equipment, including rocket-propelled grenades, to aggressively target security forces and the brave local vigilantes who are trying to protect their homes. Hundreds of fighters riding on motorcycles have been seen taking tactical positions in the thick forests, creating a deeply volatile and dangerous environment for the ordinary civilians caught in the middle of the crossfire. The Nigerian military has been fighting back fiercely, forcing Turji and his fighters to retreat deep into the forests after taking heavy losses, but the continuous back-and-forth battles have severely impacted the local population. Several humanitarian organizations and development partners have sadly had to pull out of certain eastern regions of Sokoto, officially tagging them as red zones due to the extreme danger. This deeply unfortunate withdrawal leaves the displaced and suffering villagers without the vital food, medicine, and support they desperately need to survive. The economic impact of these twin crises cannot be overstated in any way. Both Adamawa in the east and Sokoto and Zamfara in the west are vital agricultural hubs for the entire nation. They are often considered the rich bread baskets that feed millions of families across the country. When terrifying incidents like the nighttime raids in Kirchinga or the heavy face-offs in Gidandiko occur, the immediate casualty is the farming sector. Hard-working men and women are violently forced to abandon their rich green farms, leaving their ready-to-harvest crops to completely rot in the open fields. The livestock that they depend on for their daily survival and regional trade are either taken by the insurgents or left to wander and perish. This massive disruption in the agricultural supply chain creates a devastating ripple effect that touches every single major market in the nation, leading to skyrocketing food prices and severe economic hardship for the everyday citizen who is already struggling to make ends meet in 2026. Furthermore, we must deeply consider the severe psychological toll this takes on the younger generation. The fact that the attackers in Adamawa camped right behind the Maradi Primary School is a chilling reminder that educational institutions are often caught directly in the line of fire. Thousands of children in these affected zones have had their education completely paused, forced to trade their school books for a difficult life on the run in crowded displacement camps. The trauma of waking up to heavy artillery and having to flee into the dark forests is something that no child should ever have to experience, yet it has become a daily reality for far too many. This is exactly why the brave efforts of the Civilian Joint Task Force deserve special recognition in this narrative. These are not professionally trained soldiers. They are everyday local residents, hard-working farmers, dedicated teachers, and small shop owners who have chosen to stand alongside the military to defend their ancestral lands. Their deep knowledge of the local terrain has been absolutely instrumental in helping the 144th Battalion navigate the rocky mountains of Madagali and the dense, confusing forests of the northwest. However, their bravery often comes at a very personal cost, as they find themselves outgunned by kingpins who have managed to smuggle in advanced weaponry. The military high command recognizes this massive imbalance and has been actively working to supply better resources and air support to protect these local volunteers. The recent redeployment of high-ranking service chiefs to the frontline regions was a strategic move designed to boost the morale of the fighting troops and show the local communities that the federal government is fully committed to eradicating this menace once and for all. While some security analysts argue that these moves need to be backed by much better intelligence gathering rather than just a massive show of force, there is no denying that the intense airstrikes have put massive pressure on kingpins like Turji and Sububu, scattering their camps and completely disrupting their supply lines. So, when you see a flashy headline screaming that Bello Turji is attacking Governor Fintiri's hometown, you are actually looking at a symptom of a much larger national anxiety and a deliberate attempt by some platforms to mix two separate tragedies for maximum shock value. The citizens of Nigeria are currently dealing with the harsh and painful realities of the Northwest and the Northeast at the exact same time. In the East, you have the historical and ongoing struggles with insurgent groups who use sneaky guerrilla tactics to strike vulnerable border communities like Madagali.